of the coronavirus, with the number now standing at 7. The prayer will be held at State House. Let us now link up with our reporter Timothy Otieno, who will be heading to State House not too long from now. Tim, how is the program and what do we look forward to?
Well, the program is supposed to begin at 11 a.m. this morning, Michael. So it's about 2 hours to go, so to speak, before we kickstart the National Prayer Day that was declared by President Uhuru Kenyatta on Tuesday as part of the measures the whole nation needs to take to try and contain the spread of the deadly coronavirus. Now, naturally, National Prayer Days are not unusual in the Kenyan government's calendar. In fact, last year, the country celebrated its 17th annual National Prayer Day. The only difference is, usually, the National Prayer Day is held on the last Thursday of the month of May, usually just a few days before the country celebrates Madaraka Day celebration. So today's National Prayer Day is not the annual event that we're used to. It's a special convening that has been called by the president, specifically perhaps because of the global situation that we are now facing. So this year, the National Prayer Day that should be held in May in a couple of months will be the 18th one. But this one is a special one that the president called upon as part of rallying the nation to try and come together and pray for the nation in regards to this particular pandemic. Now, about 20 religious leaders are expected at State House this morning. It will be an interfaith and interdenominational prayer service that will be led by the president. But it will be very important to note that it will not be the usual crowds that we used to see normally when the prayer service either takes place at State House or at one of the many hotels that sometimes it does take. Like last year, the National Prayer Day was held at the Safari Park Hotel, where we see legislators, speakers from both houses of parliament, ambassadors, we see some members of parliament, members of the Senate. This time, it will most likely be controlled. Remember, one of the national government's directives is that social distancing needs to be put in place. The situation in the Nairobi streets, where I am right now, are not as many people as you'd expect on any other Saturday. Perhaps, people remaining at home as they were urged by the head of state to mark this particular day at home and stream it on the various platforms that the event will be taking place. But a few people here and there, and we've been able to freeze and hold an individual here who I see has a collar, so I'm assuming is a religious leader. I just want to speak to him briefly to talk to us on his thoughts, his mindset, even as the country begins this National Prayer Day. So asante sana kwa kuzungumza na KTN News. Najua tumekukatiza safari yako kidogo. Labda tueleze tu unaomba kanisa gani na maoni yako kuhusiana na siku ya leo ya National Prayer Day.
Mimi ni Senior Bishop Julius Onam Ogada. Niko kwa kanisa langu wa Nomia. Ni siku ya leo ni siku muhimu kwetu kwa sababu tumeona mengi. Hasa ni ugonjwa wa kisasa. Ndio mimi naelekea. Ndio. Kwa hivyo tunawaomba wale ambao wana remain nyumbani na wale ambao wachache wataenda huko, tuwe na maombi moja kuhusu hii ugonjwa hatari. Ndio peke yake, sina mengi la kusema.
Serikali ilikuwa imetoa mwito kwamba makanisa isimamishe ibada Jumapili na Jumamosi ama Ijumaa kulingana na ile siku ambayo makanisa yanaenda kusali. Labda kanisa lako linafuata hii agizo hii Jumapili ama ile siku ambayo mnaomba mtakusanyika, ama mumeambia wafuasi wenu waumini wabaki nyumbani?
Sisi kama Nomea tumesema watu waombe nyumbani zao. Kila mmoja aombe kwake nyumbani. Maombi ni maombi, lakini kwa hivyo hii imetoka kwa ghafla. Kwa hivyo lazima tuwafuate amri hiyo.
Wakenya wanakutazama saa hizi. Sasa kama kiongozi ambao we ni kiongozi wa amani, religious leader, message yako kwa Kenyans ni nini wakati huu, siku hii ya leo ya National Prayer Day?
Message yangu kubwa ni kwa Wakenya wawe waangalifu, watulie na tuendelee na maombi. Kila mmoja wetu aendelee mahali ako. Hiyo tu ndiyo message yangu.
Asante sana mzee kwa kuzungumza na sisi. Fika salama, nashukuru. Well, Michael, a call from one of the religious leaders here in Nairobi that we all remain calm, pray for the nation, even as we await that national prayer service to kick off. As I had mentioned earlier, State House is controlling the number of people who will be attending this particular event. As I've mentioned, just about 20 clergy are expected to lead today's national prayer service. The number of leaders who are expected we are yet to see, but most likely the numbers will be toned down from the usual traditional huge crowds that we see gather at the national prayer service. So we wait and see. 11 a.m. is when the program officially kicks off. Will be led by the head of state as he tries to rally the nation to come together and pray, even as the government has already put in a raft of measures that was announced yesterday by the Cabinet Secretary of Health, Mutahi Kagwe, that the next 2 weeks will be crucial in how the country manages this particular pandemic and whether or not we can be able to steady that infection curve that currently stands at 7 confirmed cases in Kenya at the moment, Michael.
All right, Timothy, just before letting you go, it's evident that there are not very many people in the CBD right now, but do we have shops opening? Do we have a normalcy of sorts in terms of the shops opening and maybe businessmen, you know, hoping that things will still continue as usual?
Well, a few shops remain open, but as you can imagine, largely a majority of traders have decided either to keep off or open their shops later on in the day. Remember, one of the directives that was issued by the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Mutahi Kagwe, yesterday was that the national government was kick-starting a fumigation exercise for 2 of the most crowded markets in Nairobi. That is City Market, which is not too far away from where I am right now, and the Kenyatta Market, located off Mbagathi Road on the southern side of Nairobi. Now, these 2 markets, a fumigation exercise is supposed to take place today, and in regards to that directive, the Cabinet Secretary had urged traders to keep off the market, stay at home, to allow this exercise to be conducted smoothly. Throughout this particular week, we've also been able to see members of the national government conduct fumigation exercises, even as they try and ensure the public remains safe. Now, just because of those 2 instances, normally the number of traders in the CBD is expected to go down because of that alone. But aside from that, remember the national government has been urging businesses to try and mitigate, avoid opening if you can, and especially for those corporations that can handle it, urging the employees to work from home. So the numbers have dwindled here in Nairobi. The numbers are not as many as you'd expect. Most of the shops, even behind me, remain closed, perhaps following the directive by the national government to stay at home. But also remember, today is sort of like a public holiday, so to speak, if I could use that for lack of a better terminology. So Kenyans remaining at home, observing this day from home, where the events will be streaming live on television and across various radio stations. Business is slow, Michael, so to speak, as you would anticipate on such a day with fears of the coronavirus.
All right. Thank you, Timothy. And yeah, we'll be looking forward to see how the prayer day is going to roll out, of course, being different, but more so as the country seeks divine intervention, as the CS